One of Minecraft's biggest structures is underground. But why? The structure is a city, so shouldn't it be above ground? Like, why would someone build it underground? Well, in this video I'm going to tell you the theory of why it is underground. The city is ancient, as you can tell by the name. So maybe back then, people didn't know how to survive above ground at night. So a group of people decided they should hide underground and build a safe place to live. At the start, building the city was going well, and the people living down there also made some mine shafts to get resources for the city, and to help them upgrade their armor and tools, so when they went back up the surface, the creatures won't be as hard to beat. But after a while, they started getting used to it down there, so they kept making the city bigger and bigger. They eventually started experimenting with redstone in the middle of the city to see what they could do with it. One day, one of the people in the group found something called reinforced deep slate. They thought the block was interesting, so they started experimenting with it, until they found themselves making a portal type structure in the middle of the city. They decided not to get rid of it, because they thought if they could figure out how to open the portal, they could escape from this world, and then no one else would die. Because over time, while making the structure, people were dying from mobs, lava, and falling from high places, which was making their group drop decently fast. So they tried all the stuff they could to get a portal open, but they could not figure it out. The bad thing is, there was this block covering their city called Sculk, and the Sculk was forming other blocks that were scaring them a bit, because they had never seen anything like these blocks before. But the blocks that were getting formed were not the only thing the Sculk was forming. The people of the ancient city got too curious and started experimenting with Sculk, but one person made a mistake and messed with the Sculk Shrieker and set it off too many times. Then the scariest thing they'd ever seen appeared in front of them. It started chasing after them. They tried to escape but could not. It eventually caught them. After the creature, which was later named the Warden, killed them all, he went back into the ground to not be seen again for thousands of years. Over time, the city was collapsing, and Sculk was taking over. This theory explains everything about the ancient city, but does not explain two things: some of the loot in the ancient city, and how they had enough food and wood when not going up to the surface. The answer to the second one is easy. They could have just got half the group to bring a lot of food down with them, and the other half to bring a lot of wood. If they did not bring the food down, they could have just killed zombies and spiders and ate the spider eyes and rotten flesh. The first one is a bit more difficult. Most of the items are stuff you can get underground, like amethyst shards and diamond leggings, but three things are more questionable. The first one is Swiftly, because you can't get it anywhere else except there. But I think they could have gotten it from an older type of enchantment table that made different enchantments than it does now. The second thing is the Echo Shard. Where did they come from? My theory is that they were from bits of Sculk blocks that people carved out to use as a weapon, but then they realised that it was not strong enough to be a sword, so they just stored it in a chest. But the last thing is a bit more confusing, because it was the disc fragments. Like, where did the people get the disc from, and why was it broken? Well, things evolve over time, and that's the same with the creeper. And the reason I'm saying this is because music discs can get dropped from creepers when a skeleton kills them. So maybe creepers are a bit different, and when they got shot they dropped music discs, just different ones. The person made a jukebox and played the music disc, but the music disc sounded a bit cursed. And the person got scared, so he took it out of the jukebox, and then he snapped up the music disc and threw the pieces into some chest, hoping someone would not figure out that they could craft it back up to a music disc. That's the end of the theory, and if you thought the theory was good, then like the video and subscribe, because I'm trying to get to 10k subscribers before the end of June, so you subscribing would help. Anyway, go click on the video that has popped up on the screen, because it's really good and you will enjoy it. With that said, bye bye.